Welcome to Comcast Local Edition. I'm Steve Mumm. We're on location today in the Spokane Downtown Library in the perfect setting to talk with Bradley Bleck, who's an English professor at the Spokane Falls Community College. Welcome, Bradley.
Thank you.
You know, I can't think of a better place, here in the Stacks. You have an interesting challenge of teaching English in the internet age, but you've come up with a pretty innovative approach.
Well, yeah, what I've done for the past several years is use blogs for teaching my writing and literature classes, and I find students really like using the technology that allows them to communicate with the blog.
Now, I know for a lot of people that's a common household word, blog, but for the non-computer literate people my age and beyond, tell us what that means.
Well, the blog is essentially an online journal system, but really we like to think of it as a networked space for collaboration among students, so a student can post an essay or comments on a reading and another student can read those and respond and engage in some kind of conversation online, from home, from the classroom, from the library,
and really get that feedback. Because you had a great line. You said writing is really a very public art because it really almost doesn't exist until other people are exposed to it.
Exactly. Students need to, in many respects, not write for the teacher, but write for a broader audience. And the blog allows them to do that, where they can not only have their classmates read it and their teacher read it, but have their family and friends read it if they so desire, and occasionally colleagues of mine around the nation will send their students along or poke along themselves and read. And so it's just a better way for students to write, not just for the teacher, but for the world.
So how have you seen that impact the quality of the work they're doing?
Students become more aware of their audience, and that's something we strive to teach, is audience awareness, that when they're talking to their friends, they have to talk a little differently than when they're talking to their instructor, that they don't want to yo-dude the teacher. But it's okay.
Huh?
Yeah, but it's okay to yo-dude their friends if they want to. And so they learn about audience and what's a more appropriate sort of what we call discourse levels. And so, but they basically learn how to talk to different audiences and come across in the best way manageable when they do that sort of thing.
And get that feedback, because I know my son, for instance, he's got a favorite English teacher at school, and he's used to comments from him. But, I'm sure with a lot more feedback, someone might be saying, I didn't really get that. That wasn't really clear to me.
The more feedback students get, the better, because it forces them to think things through about, okay, what's going on here? Why didn't the reader understand? What can I do to help the reader better understand? Do I need a more factual piece of evidence here? Do I need to explain the relationship between these two ideas? And so as long as they see that readers either get it or don't get it, they can have a good idea about how effective their writing is.
Now, what classes do you use the blogs in?
I use blogs in almost every class I can. It makes teaching a lot more fun for me. But as an English teacher, it works pretty well. Any class that involves writing, as an English teacher at a community college, writing is our bread and butter. So I use it in our English 101, which is first-year composition, teaching students how to write their traditional college essay. I use it in my literature classes for pretty much the same reasons, for prepping for discussions in class, so I know where students are following the reading or not following the reading, so I can come into class and say, well, Joe said this. What do you guys think? And or I can use it to stimulate discussion that way. So composition and literature classes both, but they are also real functional for a history class, a sociology class, any class where you write and you want to have discussion.
Yeah. As you know, blogs have kind of changed the world, the way we disseminate news and information, and a lot of these folks are very, very widely read. Do you think you're going to launch people out there into the blogosphere?
Well, I hope so. As a writing teacher, you always want your students to sort of want to be writers, or at least take a certain amount of pride in the writing they do. A few students come in, already have blogs, but most of the students are new to blogging, and it's partly I would like to see them all become bloggers in some respect, but it's a way to get them engaged in the curriculum, to get them engaged in their classes.
Bradley, I hate to tell you we're out of time, but I'm sure people can catch up with you on your blog if you want to hear more of the story. I'm Steve Mumm. You're on Comcast Local Edition. Bye-bye for now.